Literally,
research.
if the FDA took 5 years to reevaluate the current like scheduling of different drugs, so like for example, Schedule One marijuana is a Schedule One drug. That means it has a high potential for abuse and I forget what the actual definition of a Schedule One drug
It's
is
okay.
exactly,
It
but
doesn't matter
my
specifically.
point is that that's like the worst. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
on the major scale we're talking here.
and it's like marijuana is Schedule One. Marijuana is to America one of the deadliest drugs that you can use. That is fucking abhorrent. That is ridiculous. Okay, if we took fucking 5 years as a country and moved the taxpayer dollars away from fucking stopping all the crime, drug-related crime and shit, and took that time to reevaluate the scheduling of these drugs, reschedule them on a federal level, and
Which is
decriminalize
what already must be done,
or
which is accurate.
and decriminalize or legalize accordingly, and then regulate the sale of whatever ones become legal. Put
Absolutely.
and then literally you can take all the revenue that you get from all of these drugs that people are going to do anyway. They're going to do them no matter what. People are going to do drugs. That's just a fact of life. Okay? People like eccentric experiences. People like things like they don't,
Just as many wise men have said before.
people to a certain people don't like change, but at the same time they do. People
Yeah,
like
that's why
to
people are people. They hate, but they love it.
exactly. It's a very contrasting. It doesn't
It's
really.
a polarized thought.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. But like
It doesn't.
people.
It's
The point
why
is
there's two parts to the brain, not
exactly.
one.
The point is people do drugs. People are going to do drugs. People are going to at least try
People are
drugs.
going to do what they want to do, regardless of
Exactly.
what rules are in place.
Irregardless of the law. Okay. So
Unfortunately.
drugs, which are a generally, I can't say that there aren't cases where the use of drugs has caused someone to trip and then hurt someone else or something along those lines, but the good majority of the time, no matter what drug you're using, and again, there are exceptions,
Yeah, like don't do meth
or
and go
fucking
fucking think you're gonna
PCP,
have
or
a good
yeah,
time. Like,
exactly. But if you
it's
are
gonna ruin your
if
life.
obviously things like fucking meth, yeah, that should be a fucking Schedule One drug. That should stay there. That should be
Yeah,
fucking
that
illegal.
definitely
And people who do that
are dumb.
are dumb. That's their
It's
own
not
fault.
their
They're gonna
fault. They're actually smart, but the problem is that the deterioration through time kills them, and that's why you shouldn't fucking do it, because you'll be dumb if you do it, because you'll do it till you're dead. And that's the problem.
yeah.
The solution is weed.
I continue.
Absolutely.
So anyway, you legalize, decriminalize, reschedule all these psychedelic substances, all these different drugs and substances accordingly, regulate them, and then you take that revenue and you know what you push it back into? You push it back into school. You push it back into school, and you push it back into drug programs. You push it back into helping people deal with addiction. You push it back into you can literally take the amount of revenue just from marijuana alone that you're going to make from the sales of that if it were legalized, okay, and regulated properly. You could take just the money from that alone, put that into drug education and drug rehabilitation programs, and you're already mitigating almost all the damage that you could have created for yourself by legalizing these drugs in the first place.
Fact.
Okay? So then you're also, if theoretically you decriminalize or legalize other drugs, certain psychedelics, maybe like for example, mushrooms aren't as maybe not acid, that's a very powerful psychedelic, but mushrooms, things like that, that aren't as powerful and won't have the people don't. People trip on like have bad trips on shrooms, but acid is generally the one that people try to stay away from just because it's so much more powerful a substance. But like the point is if you just took this fucking money from all these different things and stopped putting funding towards stopping these people from doing shit they're gonna do anyway, and then put it back into education, then you could work on the whole fucking education system, re-fucking in and you literally wouldn't even need like you'd make enough money just from the sale and like the sale of the
Absolutely.
drugs that you legalize, and then if you stop putting funding into stopping people from doing them, rather than having people fucking riding around the hood looking for someone smoking crack, right around the hood for someone looking for someone who's fucking stealing shit, for someone who's hurting someone, for somebody, if he's smoking crack, dude, he's smoking crack. That's his own fucking business. He's gonna die. That's a dog, not a person. But my point is if you're fucking smoking crack, whatever, dude. You're smoking crack. That's all on you, dude. I don't give a shit who you are. I don't give a shit what you do. As long as you're not fucking smoking crack and then going and robbing a bank or something or killing somebody, then whatever. If you're chilling at your own house and you're like, man, I need a crack fix.
I support this message.
And you're scratching your skin off because you haven't had crack in 24 hours.
It's awful.
I don't care. But my point is that's all on that person.
It's so true.
It's all on that person. The only person who is a victim of this supposed quote-unquote crime is the person who is indulging in these substances in the first place.
And they shouldn't be doing it in the first place.
It's literally,
they shouldn't be doing it at all.
It's literally like, so here's how it goes.
Not even a little bit.
Someone's
not
doing
even
crack.
kind of.
Someone's doing crack, right? It's like they might as well just be fucking like cutting into themselves with a knife or doing some other stupid shit to kill themselves. And then in addition to that, so they're already killing themselves. They're already fucking their lives up and killing themselves. And then all of a sudden, some fucking cops come up and start kicking the shit out of them and steal their crack from them. So you're making your life worse. We're gonna make it even worse than that. See that dude over there?
Drugs are bad, okay?
See that dude over there who's fucking busting off shots? Fuck him, dude, Why do we care about him, dude? We just gotta fucking stop this crackhead right here from doing his crack.
Crack's bad, okay? Don't do crack. If you do crack, I'm gonna personally kick y'all ass. Matter of fact. Grab some of that coffee.
Yeah. Also, I'm not supporting crack. I'm just saying that literally...
No one should.
No one should. But my point is that people are going to do it.
Anyway, and it's not their fault necessarily.
So if we stop focusing on literally making these people whose lives are already shitty even shittier and start focusing on rehabilitation instead of what the actual word is. Instead of criminalization,
right?
Instead of turning these people into fucking convicts and criminals into
it sucks because it's so true.
It's you know what? I know you don't like Lil Wayne that much, Zach, but the song "Misunderstood" is a really great song that talks about this kind of topic, where he talks about because he has a daughter, and basically what he talks about is that why is it okay for the government to take someone who's selling crack cocaine, take someone who made their living dealing drugs, and throw them in prison for life, but then someone who's a sex offender, who's a registered sex offender for whatever they may have done, if you're dealing crack, dude, you're gonna get you're done. You're done. That's your life.
It's over.
You're done. You get caught, you're done. You're done. So, but if you're fucking jerking off in public, well, we're gonna slap a sex offender. We're gonna slap sex
Pee-wee
offender.
Herman.
We're gonna slap sex offender
Barney
underneath your name, and wherever you move, we'll just send the people around you a little.
Remember that shit? Remember when Barney had a beer in his tail?
Yeah,
and they martyred him to Barney.
Shut up. That's what they literally do, though. If someone who's a sex offender moves into a neighborhood, they send everyone around that person mail. That's hey, there's now a sex offender here. And it's dude, I literally have, because the thing about being a crack dealer, once or something like that, if you're not a complete moron, once you have enough money from doing this, you can literally just sit back and do nothing with your you know what I'm saying? Somebody who dealt crack to get out of the hood isn't going to move to the suburbs with their crack money and then continue dealing crack in the suburbs. No one's going to buy it. Nobody buys crack in the suburbs. You know what I mean? That's not a thing. So, that being said, they're going to move to the suburbs with all the money that they've made, and they're going to live the rest of their lives not hurting anybody. However, if they get caught and thrown in prison for life, instead they're in prison, and now there's the possibility that someone who is a registered sex offender could move in there around potentially around children, around plenty of women. He's someone who is a sex offender, someone who has forced themselves upon someone else or has done something disgusting, in public or whatever it may be, comes in, and that's totally okay. That's no big deal. Everybody's just got to deal with that. But if some guy was giving people something they wanted and made money for it,
you know what would happen.
You're going to jail for life. Fuck that guy, right? I mean, who cares if he fucking rapes someone?
That's awful.
At the end of the day, dude, if you're dealing crack, you're a real piece of shit. Rapists are totally cool. I mean, whatever, that's all I'm saying.
I don't.
So fucking ass backwards and ridiculous.
If it could get any worse, it would just be like.
Well, here's the thing, dude. There was hardly any regulation of drugs until LSD started kind of making it in the 60s was that what year did they institute the war on drugs?
Late
Nixon.
58.
58.
Yeah, that's when the same time the government reversed the coin on the penny.
That's what I thought.
Because they were symbolically getting rid of Lincoln's stability. In my opinion, I think artistically, the Masons themselves were trying to symbolically reinvent something that doesn't exist anymore. It might be a grand old party, but it's not a good one. And it might be, a democratic
really
place,
awesome?
But there's no Democrates. I don't see him anywhere.
You know what's really fucking awesome, dude? We're in America.
I like how you laughed. You're like, oh shit, dude. We're America. What have we done now?
We as America are at a point where our president something on Instagram or Twitter or whatever it may be, whatever social media.
That's awful.
Right? Just shut up.
That's